So I think we're taking a look at his stream now.
Okay, here we go. The game is starting. Yep.
Okay, so he starts with e4. He's mixing it up a little bit. I like the music.
I already messed
Good
up.
vibes. Uh-oh, he's not confident.
What is he doing? I've never seen this opening before, dude. What's going on?
This Sicilian is scaring him a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we got some trades here. That's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, he blundered his pawn on the
scared.
sixth move, but in general, he's only down one pawn, and he's doing quite well. So I like his position. Now he needs to finish his development by moving one of his bishops and getting the king out of the center of the board. That's going to be the most critical thing that erobb can do here.
Uh-oh, I see him hovering over his queen. That would be an issue. He doesn't want to keep moving his queen here. A move like g3, bishop g2, developing the bishop and preparing to castle would be much preferred here.
Right, I think, okay, queen f3 is okay. He still wants to develop his bishop, so I do like what he's doing in terms of his development, and I mean we'll see if he follows it up with the right ideas. But I think the fact that he's moving his queen, moving his bishops, trying to get his king out of the center of the board is good. He goes to g3 now, which he actually could have done one move earlier, but it's still a good move.
Right, he's still preparing the same plan, but his queen will be a little awkward. Oh,
okay,
bishop h3.
It's not the best move, but again, it's not a move that's losing material. And I think in a game like this where erobb is very much the underdog, the less pieces that he blunders, that is already going to be a step in the right direction. Like so far, he's only down one pawn, and Voyboy is one of the best players in the tournament. So if he only is blundering a pawn, when it gets to the consolation bracket where he's playing against people who are closer to his rating, it's definitely going to pay dividends.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very good point. And here, a move I would actually like to see is something like bishop g2, where he tries to keep his bishop, but then you have moves like bishop g4, which honestly might... Oh, that's worse. Well, there goes the bishop. Oh, boy. All right, we're going to take a listen on Voyboy, see what he has to say about this.
Now the rook's under attack. Let's see if he moves the rook over. If he goes rook here, then I can go bishop here and pin it. If he goes rook here, then I don't have an immediate threat, but I can still go bishop here and kick the queen off, which isn't bad. Okay, good move, good move. I could also just leave the bishop there. It's kind of strong, just chilling, I think.
Well, this is very mismatched for sure.
Oh, I'm just listening to the music. I don't even care about the chess.
No worries.
Okay, so I go bishop here. He can go queen here or here. And you can go queen back too, but that's kind of trapped. If he goes queen here, then I could push this pawn and.
At any rate, I mean it's a tough position.
If he goes queen here, then I could just push this.
Yeah, at any rate, I mean I think this is quite difficult for erobb already. Again, I just want to see him finish development. That's the main thing I want to see. Is I want to see him move the queen, get the bishop out, and have the development. That's all that I really want to. That's what I really want to see out of erobb. It's not so much that he sees some tact or some idea that wins material, but just that he finishes the development basic principle, and then from there you can work on some of the other things. But I think that's the first thing that I want to see.
Right. So we want to see him keeping his queen here. Queen f4 is
very good move.
A decent option. If he can
I really didn't want to say queen e3 because then he would have forked the queen and the knight. So
Right.
mainly that's the main thing I want to see.
Right. No, that makes sense. Hopefully we'll see him develop his bishop from c1 soon, even a move like d2, just some natural developing moves so that we can see that he can play those same strategies when he's taking on weaker opponents in the consolation bracket.
Right, exactly.
And Voyboy with plenty of time on the clock here. I mean, how do you predict this game going? Is Voyboy going to try to go for a simplification, get into the end game with being ahead in material, or he's going to try to go for some kind of attack since he's up a piece?
I think he should try to go for an attack. I'd be very impressed here if he pushes the pawn to e5 because it would be a very good move. But it's a hard move to play to see in this position because if white takes with the queen, then you move the rook over and you win the queen or you win the rook. And if white, okay, so he goes d4, which is completely fine as well. I do know from having watched some of Voyboy's games, he does know about the ideas of checkmating on these diagonals with like the bishop and the queen specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think there is a very high likelihood that he will get a checkmate here with like a queen d5, bishop h3, and queen g2.
Yep, I'm drawing the arrows for that. I'm curious to see if erobb would find a solution for those moves. Knight b5, his knight was under attack, so he had to move, but he's also looking towards the c7 square, which doesn't actually do anything, but he could be baited to play it after a move like bishop h3 and queen d5. Anyway, Voyboy decides to go for queen b6 instead, attacking the knight.
Right. I mean, I think Voyboy is probably going to win this game pretty soon. I think in general, it's just a very tough position to play for erobb because again, there aren't really many targets in the black position, which is another thing. Like there only are pawns that potentially can be under attack, like the bishop and the knights and the rooks. Like the pieces are just not on squares that are conducive to attacking ideas. So I think it's going to be very tough for erobb to keep this game going for more than like 5 to 10 moves.
Yeah, that's fair. And he plays knight c7. It has one threat, but not a lot of follow-up. You know, after a move like rook a c8, which he just played, well, where's the knight going to go now? It's actually going to get trapped unless he sees the move knight d5, which distracts the knight from defending the bishop, which is not an exchange that Voyboy would probably want to go
Okay,
for.
but he sees rook takes e7, which, I mean, the position is losing regardless, but at least he sees the free pawn that he can capture that also protects the knight on c7. So, and I think Voyboy actually missed that move. So you could see Voyboy think a little bit here because I think he actually was already on cruise control and thinking the game is completely over when it's not that simple.
That's fair. So he is losing a pawn. He can still go for the idea we discussed earlier with queen c6 and bishop h3, trying to threaten mate, and that looks very dangerous. Of course, erobb could stop it with a move like f3, but that would continue to weaken his king side here.
Right, and one thing that I will say is that at this point in the game, you could see Voyboy sort of think a little bit more because I think he's a touch rattled by this because he is obviously the better player and he certainly is winning the game nonetheless. But to blunder a pawn like that when you don't see it, especially against someone who you perceive to be one of the weaker players in the event, I think it's more like you're going to sort of take a little bit of time, hesitate, and think more because you're trying to figure out what's going on exactly.
Well, let's take a listen and see what erobb is saying about his position.
Come on, bro.
Being very quiet here, so he's deep in thought. He did find that good moves. Okay, so that's a very quiet move from Voyboy. It makes me think that he saw that his bishop was only defended by his knight.
Yeah, so my take on the move by Voyboy here is that basically he's uncomfortable. He knows he made a mistake, and now he's going to try to just make sure his pieces are safe and there are no real attacks for erobb, and then he'll try to slowly build the confidence back up in the coming 3 to 4 moves.
Shoot.
Mm-hmm. And now erobb is the one who is taking some time here. He found a good move, and it's not super intuitive how he should develop here because he wants to get his bishop and his rook out, but if he moves his bishop, then the pawn on b2 is
this up one and
Right. Still a very tough position for erobb, and I think the main thing I want to see is I want to see him hang on for the next couple of moves without making any mistakes if he can. The next 3 to 4 moves, maybe not make any mistakes, but not lose the game on the spot. That's what I want to see. I think Nim is in the chat, by the way. So big shout out to Nim as well for being here.
And congratulations, Nim. Again, you played a fantastic game, and thanks for hanging out in the chat as well and giving erobb a raid and supporting him also.
Okay, so after Voyboy's just being nasty. Knight h5 is a really mean move here. Hitting the queen, and then if the queen moves away, you lose this knight on c7. Actually, I realized after queen g5, there's also bishop to f6, forking the queen and the rook, which would be pretty nasty too.
Oh man, yeah. So then erobb is going to lose another piece, but I don't think we're going to see a resignation, right? He's probably going to continue fighting here.
Yeah, I do think we'll see that. I would say actually, I think that part of the reason Forsen resigned is because he knew what was coming. I think that was kind of the thing, is that the Forsen knew what was coming.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think Forsen, was he the first resignation we've seen in Pogchamps?
Actually, yeah, I think it was, because if I think about the other games, I mean Yasuo was checkmate. Yeah, I think that was the first resignation we've seen. I think it was, yeah.
All right.
Okay, but erobb finds knight d5, which is a very good move, attacking the queen on b6.
Absolutely. He finds an offensive way to defend his own queen. The difficulty is if Voyboy just moves his queen away and continues to put pressure on the knight, then again, white is going to have 2 pieces under attack.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation, but I'm liking some of the moves that erobb is finding. I really am, because he's in a tough spot. He's obviously already objectively losing this game, but he's finding moves that give him a shot to keep the game going for quite a bit longer. Oh, that's a cute dog.
Yeah, he is. Actually, our dog just got a haircut, and she is so cute right now. I haven't been able to stop petting her all day. Okay, so Voyboy actually just goes for the queen trade, and he plays knight h3. Oh, wow, this is beautiful, because he's putting his knight away with check, so he's still going to win a piece on b6.
Yeah, I mean, very, very nice move by Voyboy. However, erobb can still play g4 and get back one of the pieces, either the bishop or the knight.
True, and if he sees this move, I think he's in very good shape to take on the players in the consolation bracket.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think if he sees this move, this is he'll be doing. He's already done reasonably well. I would say by the general match strategy. I mean, he hasn't lost the game in the first 10 moves. He was only down 1 pawn for quite a while. So that this has been I would say this is positive improvement over what I saw in the first 2 games, where he was basically down much more material within the first 10 to 15 moves.
Fair enough. Well, on that note, let's also take a listen on Voyboy and see how he's thinking through this.
Okay, he's going back out. Okay, so here I think I just wanted to get my knight out. So I'll go here. Into this, if he tries to stop it.
Very nice move from
Fuck. Actually, a good move.
Yes, he found it. That's awesome. It seemed like Voyboy didn't actually see this.
Yeah, I Voyboy didn't see it. So again,
this
is very positive.
Escape.
Yeah, we'll keep this in mind to remind erobb, because I think he could use some encouragement.
I think I just take here and get my knight out.
He's had a tough start.
Yeah, this is very, very positive. I really like what I've seen from erobb today. This is a lot better than we saw in the first 2 games. So it's definitely very good. Now I don't like Voyboy taking this pawn here with the bishop. He's still doing well, but it's gonna be it's a little bit iffy. I don't like the last couple of moves by Voyboy potentially. However, he is still, of course, much better here.
Right, but what he did do is help erobb develop his pieces by being able to take his bishop, and now he has the rooks on the double file. He's still up a full piece, but I mean, erobb now still has swindle chances if Voyboy doesn't take him seriously.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I'm very pleased with what I've seen. This has been a lot better than the first 2 games, and I think that one of the reasons this has been much better is because erobb isn't filling any expectations. So he's just coming into the game and he's just enjoying it. Like, he knows he's probably going to lose, but he's able to relax and just play. And I think if he can keep that mindset going forward, he'll have a shot in the consolation bracket.
Right, and he sees that his rook is under attack. He moves it back to a really nice square on e4, keeping the control of the open e-file here. What do you think his best strategy to try to hold a draw should be?
I guess thing is try to put all his pawns in light square so the bishop cannot attack any of his pawns. That's what I would say.
So something like b3 and a4?
Yeah, something like b3, a4, and then put the other pawn on h2 onto h3 as well. I mean, this is definitely this is definitely very positive. This is even if he loses at this point, this is like winning this is like getting a W for erobb. I really do believe that because he's played well. He could have very easily lost a queen or a rook early on in the game, but he's gotten out of it, and he's only down 1 bishop quite deep into the game.
Yeah, and he saw h3. A4 would have been better first, because now if he wants to defend his pawn, he has to put it on a dark square. But that's a very hard.
But he sees it, though. He sees it. And this is very important. Like, it's not so much he's going to lose this game. I feel very confident in that. When I say actually he's down a bishop, and objectively Voyboy is too good to mess it up. But he's seeing the moves that do not give up material. And this is the very important thing, is the players are going to make blunders, but as long as you're making less of them or fewer, well, it's the same thing, sorry. But if you're making less blunders than your opponents are, you're probably going to have better chances to win the game. So I'm very pleased by this. To me, this is getting a W. This is exactly what you want in this game.
Well, that's really good news for erobb. We'll save some of the compliments for if he comes on for player interviews after. And I think he can also just try to hold the position, so make quiet moves like rook e2 and just try to wait for Voyboy to prove that he's better. Of course, moves like that are hard to see, and he might be trying to come up with a more active plan here.
Right, I expect him to try to play much more active chess at this point, but it's going to be quite hard to do that without exchanging rooks. Now, what I'm seeing from Voyboy is he's basically saying, you know what, I'm up a bishop. I'm going to be very solid here and try to exchange the pieces. That's what I'm seeing out of Voyboy, because the way he's playing is a little bit weird. It's not.
Bishop t8 makes me think Voyboy is going for f5, though. Otherwise, I don't see why he'd put his bishop on d8.
Right, I tend to agree with that. But it's just a little bit weird. It's kind of, I think Voyboy is just, he's like, he feels a little bit unsure. Like, he knows he's winning the game, but he expected, I think, to have an easier time winning this game. So he's just being a little bit more cautious.
And I do like that erobb made a move like king g1, because it shows that he is capable of making those small waiting moves instead of creating new weaknesses in his position. Right,
exactly. And I'm very pleased. Like, even though he's going to lose the game, this is very, very good from erobb. If he plays like this in the consolation bracket, he will have a chance to pull off an upset against someone like Moist Critical.
Yeah, that's fair. And now he puts his king back to f2. I would have preferred g2, but he could just go back over there to protect the h3 pawn. He has to be careful to not make a mistake here.
Right. And okay, that's fine too. Like, again, he's not going to play the best moves, and he is going to lose the game, but he's not blundering the pieces here. And this is the critical point, and this is all that this is what I want to see out of him in this game. And so far, he's been very good at that. He's made one, he gave up the pawn, which was unfortunate. And the other blunder was pretty advanced, like this knight h5 idea. Most people in this event would not, especially most people in the consolation bracket, would not see an idea like that. So, yeah. This is very positive. And then seeing g4 after that, this has been very, very good.
Okay, well, rooks are now being traded on e8, so he kind of had to go for that. Otherwise, he would have had to see that he can come take with his king and still protect h3. But I think that's fine. Let's see if he continues to find these slow moves here. Now the rook can move, but a rook trade would be a bad idea. He probably wants to keep his rook on here so that he has a better chance to save and draw the game.
Right. I mean, Rookie 1 also runs into bishop to g3 check.
Right.
But a4, not a bad move either.
Okay. And if he makes a move like b3, that would be a good one here.
Yeah, and I would also add, from the standpoint of Voyboy, considering he's one of the big favorites in the event, his play has been a touch shaky today. So I think certainly in the champions bracket, his opponent in the first round, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Yasuo, is probably watching this and feeling like he's going to definitely have better chances because the play by Voyboy has not been as crisp, it feels like, compared to the first two games.
Oh no, so he did play Rookie 1. If Voyboy sees bishop g3, then he's just going to be up a full rook here.
Right, and Voyboy is good enough that he should see it. Ooh, he does see it, yeah. Brutal.
Yeah, that's tough. Do you think erobb is going to play on, or are we expecting some kind of resignation here?
I mean, I think he's going to play on here. I mean, I feel bad for erobb, but again, he's played well. He's done the right things.
Yeah, now he has a full rook. He's just going to go and collect them all. And, Rookie 1 was kind of a natural move, bringing the rook to the open file. I think it was wrong in terms of principles, too. You shouldn't be trying to trade off, and it also happened to be wrong tactically, so.
Right.
And no hesitation for Voyboy. So rook takes b3 is coming. Soon after, the a-pawn is going to fall.
Yeah. It's unfortunately there isn't really much that erobb can do at this point. But nonetheless, I think for a good portion of the game he was hanging in there. He was only down one bishop, so it's definitely a positive. It's definitely a step in the right direction.
Yeah, and I think we'll tell him that after and try to encourage him for the consolation bracket. And if he does some training with the opening so that he gets comfortable positions again, I think he's in good shape.
Right, and I think, Voyboy's just going to make the correct checkmate here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, almost there.
I'm wasting all the time.
Is erobb hesitating to move here? Is he going to just run out his clock? No.
I'll be right back.
He's gonna do the Tyler. He's gonna do the Tyler. Run it down.
No, he just left. He just got up and left. He's gone. Oh no, the BM, Hikaru, the BM.
Yep. He's running it down.
Well, chat, we're still here with you. Voyboy is still here. Voyboy seems like he has a good sense of humor. And we're listening to erobb now. Well, if we're listening to erobb, there's nothing to listen to because he's not in his chair. But thank you, production team, for that one. Let's listen to the nice sound of silence. There you go. He flagged.
I won!
Wait. Did Voyboy resign?
I think he did. I think he was feeling generous.
Voyboy resigned?
Let's go, man.
No! What?
Yeah. Voyboy was feeling generous, and I also realized Voyboy already had it clinched. He already had first prize clinched in the bracket, so he's feeling bad.
But isn't he going to mess up the brackets for the other people in the consolation arena?
No, I think it's all set, actually. It's already set regardless.
Okay, well, you're right, yeah, because we already saw that erobb already had his spot set. So did Voyboy. They're not playing for anything extra here,
team.
so
what are you talking about,
he gave
man?
him some Aw, that's kind of cute.
This is what it feels like? This doesn't feel that
Well,
good.
I don't know what your take is on that, Hikaru. What do you feel about the decision?
I think I'm looking at Voyboy's face, and I think he doesn't mind the loss, but I think he's confused as to how he lost 362 points.
Yeah, maybe we should get chess.com to fix his rating, because it looks a bit like he's smurfing now.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I mean, considering the bracket was set, and I mean, I think he's feeling bad for erobb. I think it's a nice gesture, certainly.
Yeah, and we're pulling up the brackets just to show you guys. So as you can see, Voyboy is already taking that